Hi guys, hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to sew jumpsuit and I will make gather on the waist. I just finished with the sleeve. I'm going to upload the sleeve separately. I will leave the link to the sleeve in the description box. You can go and check it out and see how I cut and sew the sleeve. The material I have here is 4 years by 60. I fold into 2. I'm going to cut the top before I cut the down parts. I fold into 4 and I leave 2 inches on the back for zip. I'm going to sew zip on the back. I place the front on top. Shoulder is 15 inches, divided by 2 is 7.5 inches. I will add ½ inch to sew. Placing my tape on the shoulder, I measure down armhole. I measure 10 inches. Bust is 42 inches, divided by 4 is 10.5 inches. Plus allowance to sew. Half length is 17 inches. Plus 1 inch to sew, I have 18 inches. Waist is 36 inches, divided by 4 is 8 inches. Plus to sew on the side and to add that. I'll cut from the shoulder with ½ inch. Neckline is 3 inches. I'll cut back with ½ inch. I will measure from the center 4.5 inches for that. So I'll measure front neck. Placing my tape on the shoulder, I measure 3 inches. You want to turn the neck. I'm going to cut the down part. Fold into 2. I'm going to measure 57 inches for full length. Remember, half length is 17 inches. When I remove 17 inches from 57 inches, it will remain 40 inches. We add allowance for sewing on the waist and allowance to sew on the bottom, to hem on the bottom. So 17 inches, I will remove 17 inches from my tape. I remove 17 inches and measure 57 inches, which is here. I will add 2 inches, which will give me 59 inches for sewing. I will use 2 inches to sew or to hem. This 57 inches and this 59 inches. This 59 inches. So that means I'm going to use 40 inches on the bottom plus 2 inches to sew. I have 42 inches. I'm not going to measure 36 inches or add for that. I'm going to give allowance that will be enough for me to make gather on the waist. I will place my tape on the waist. I measure 11 inches from waist down here, 11 inches. This place is hip and this waist. I place my tape on the waist. I measure down 27 inches. This nail. It depends on how tall you are before you measure from waist to nail. Depends on how tall. Maybe you use 28, 30 or 25, 26. But mine is 27 from waist down to the nail. I measure 27 inches. On the side here, I will measure 3 inches. I will mark all the way down. I measure 3 inches all the way from the waist to the bottom. I will place my tape after the line. Hip is 56 inches, divided by 4 is 14 inches. I will add 1 inch to sew. So I measure 15 inches. On the waist, I will measure 13 inches and add 1 inch to sew, because I'm going to add gather on the waist. On the hip, I measure 14 inches and I add 1 inch to sew. So I have 15 inches on the hip and 14 inches on the waist. I will place my tape on top here and measure 14 inches. Crotch is 14 inches. I measure waist 13 inches and I add 1 inch to sew, because I'm going to add gather on the waist. Hip is 56 inches, divided by 4 is 14 inches. I measure 14 inches plus 1 inch to sew. Then I place my tape on the waist and measure crotch. I measure 14 inches and I place my tape here. I measure lap 34 inches, divided by 2 is 17 inches. I add 1 inch to sew. Knee is 26 inches, divided by 2 is 13 inches plus 1 inch to sew. Bottom is 20 inches, divided by 2 is 10 inches plus 1 inch to sew. On the side here, the 3 inches I leave before, I'm going to cut I will cut here like this. This is the back. I add 2.5 inches on the waist and on the hip, and 1 inch on the knee and ½ inch on the bottom. I will notch like this. I'm going to cut the front. The front is not going to be big like this. After folding into 2, I place the back on top and I will remove 1 inch like this. On the back, which I add extra 2.5 inch, I will also remove from the front. The back is 2.5 inches, 1.5 inch bigger than the front. Into notch. This is the front, this is the back. Let me measure for the pockets. I have some here. That will be enough for the pockets. I will measure 15 inches. This for the two pockets. I'm going to start to sew. This is the front neck. I will sew here. In the back neck, I will sew here. And I will sew that on the waist. I will measure from where I notch up here 5 inches. I will measure from back where I notch 6 inches. This crotch for the front, I will sew here. And for the back, I will sew up to here and leave about 8 to 10 inches for zip. I will leave about 8 to 10 inches for zip on the back. Then after doing that, before I will sew the pockets. This is the back. I'm done sewing from here. I start sewing from here up to here and leave this place open for zip. And I sew 2 lines to draw gather. Also with the front, I'm done sewing crotch. I sew here before I sew 2 lines to make gather. This is the front. I cut pocket and I cut 15 inches. I measure 15 inches for pockets, 15 inches, and I cut here 7.5 inches. Then I trim here. I bring the pocket this way. This is the front of the material and this is the back. And I will place the pocket this way. This one is 7.5 inches and this place is 7.5 inches. So I will place this way. I notch here. I will sew here. Then after sewing, the pocket would come this way to the back. It will come to the back. I'm going to sew here, this place. Do the same on this side. I sew from the front. I will sew here and it will come to the back. I start sewing from the front, and after sewing it goes to the back like this. The one I flip to the back, I will leave about 1/2 inch this way, 1/2 inch. When I'm going to sew the side, remember this is the side with the pocket. I will sew the side and this one, this back side together, this one like this. I will sew here. I will sew this one together straight. I will do the same on this side. I will leave 1/2 inch to sew the back like this and sew straight down. I'm going to use thread and needle to hem the neck. So after sewing the neck, I join the shoulder. I'm going to join this side. This is the front shoulder. This is the back shoulder. I will bring this way. The one I use in turning front neck, I will fling to the back this way. This is the one I use in turning front neck. This is the one I use in turning back neck. This is the back shoulder and this is the front shoulder. I will sew here. I will draw the thread which I use in making for the gather. Like this. What I will do now is to go and sew the side. I leave 1/2 inch on the pockets like that, and I will place back on top. I will sew, let me hold with pin not to fling off like this. I will place this way and sew. I will sew all the way here. I will sew from here all the way to the bottom. I will do the same on this side. After joining the shoulder, I will sew the two sides. I will measure bust and waist. I'm done joining the two sides. And the top, and I sew one sleeve. I sew this side, a sleeve. I'm going to sew this one. This is the side of the top, and I will join here and the side together this way. Place the sleeve inside the armhole. I will sew up to the shoulder. I will use the remaining one here to make plints on the shoulder. After that, I will continue and sew up to where I started from. Here is where I will sew zip on the back. I will join in place. This is the side. I will join the side of the trouser and the side of the top together. I will sew. I will continue. This is the center of the top. I will join together with it and I will sew around. After doing that, I will sew zip and I will hem the bottom before I sew the inner tie. I will hem the bottom. I will hem here. After sewing here, I will join the inner tie. I'm done joining the waist and the sleeve. I hem the bottom, so I fold this way into two and I'm going to sew inner tie. I will measure 20 inches. Divide by 2 is 10 inches. I will sew from here. I will sew all the way to this place. When I'm done sewing the inner tie, I will sew the zip and show you the final look. This is the final sewing, guys. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are new here, please subscribe and remember the notification bell. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much. If you have any question concerning this video, please let me know in the comment section. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time.